All right, so for 3-ish years now, all we have talked about is Mission Impossible. And it's been like
Wait, before that, hey, Eli, happy birthday.
Hey,
oh
happy
my
birthday,
gosh.
Eli.
Oh my gosh.
Happy 50th birthday.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so, it's crazy that you turned 50.
It's
It is
wild.
crazy. I turned 50. It's weird. I still feel like the youngest one in a room, but no, I'm 50. It's wild. Like,
Eli, what was the #1 movie on your birthday?
oh, fuck me. Like the day I was born or like this year?
Yeah, the day you were born.
The jazz singer?
It was the train going towards the audience.
The rocket hitting
It was
the moon
the
in
rocket
the eye.
hitting the moon. Yeah, I'm not 50. You pieces of shit.
I was like, this guy is at least in his late 40s. And I was like being generous saying 50. I really think closer to 57. I've known you for like a decade now.
Do you know who is 62 years old though? Tom Cruise.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is 62
There
years
it
old.
is.
For the last 3 years, the only thing we have talked about is Mission Impossible. Even when times were bad. Even during the election, we were like, ugh, well, at least Mission Impossible's coming out in 2025. And now it came out. I'm going to hold my tongue. Caroline, tell me about your experience watching Mission Impossible, a movie you have been thinking about endlessly, texting us daily about, saying, hey, 10 more days, 9 more days, 8 more days, it's coming, it's Mission Impossible time, and then you saw the movie. Tell me all about it.
Well, first off, this is I Need to See That podcast, a podcast about movies.
Yeah, sure. Tell me about Mission Impossible.
I had a great time. I had a fantastic time. I saw it 6 p.m. opening day, IMAX. And I never thought I was going to see Tom Cruise fighting in his underwear wearing Vibrams. Those shoes are okay, if I can think of a list of top icks where for men, Vibrams is maybe #1. And and I think somehow he made them enticing to watch him fight in. I think that's the fight we're not talking about, but I had a great time. Milchek is the unsung hero, I think, of the movie.
So good.
Milchek in a submarine. But I had a great time. You know, it distracted us for 3 hours. I'm going to see it again next week. It's not the best one, but I'm still happier to have a Mission Impossible than no Mission Impossible at all.
Ethan, you saw Mission Impossible. What did you think?
I saw it with my friend who I saw Mission Impossible 7 with. And yeah, it was a blast. I enjoyed it a lot. I think that there were some weird choices. It's definitely not at the top for the series, but boy, were those 2 stunt sequences absolutely incredible. And I just don't holding my breath, especially with the planes. The planes was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone's complaining, oh, it's so exposition-y in this. Shut the fuck up. Like,
Yeah.
it was really fun.
Yeah.
It was not Fallout, and it doesn't have to be Fallout, and that's okay.
And I'll say for this franchise, too, what I think is why we love it so much. It's one of the last movies that feels like it does entirely practical effects. And it's amazing to watch that and knowing that the underwater stunt, I've been reading a lot more about since that. They took years to plan that stunt. And it's that I especially was like also holding my breath because I didn't know how long he was going to be underwater for. And I'm
Crazy.
so curious about the mechanics that took to make that work. He had to breathe in his own carbon dioxide. I mean, no one's doing it like Tom Cruise, even if his wig was a different in every single scene that we watched. I don't care.
Yeah. I also think that, and then Eli, I want to hear your thoughts, obviously. I think that the thing that since starting in the 3rd, but especially the 4th, is that this movie had such a good sense of humor. This series had a good sense of humor about itself. And part of that was really like Simon Pegg was just a real fantastic addition. But some of like the classic, Tom on the Burj Khalifa and he has to get back into the room and it's like, your rope is short, and his like, no shit line, or just like the airport and the Rome sequence in Dead Reckoning Part 1 was it was so like Looney Tunesy in the best way. And I felt like this movie was very self-serious. And I think that do you know what? Like, my complaint about Harry Potter 7, the book, is that it's way more self-serious than any of the other books that came before it. I think that's just sort of how shit wraps up, and that it's hard to wrap things up, and they really tried to wrap it up.
My review I texted you was cool stunt, great milkchick. The screenplay wouldn't shut the fuck up. Every criticism you just said, which is like it's not fun, it's too self-serious. It's a screenwriting issue. What they did is they took all the fun out by saying every single movie has led to this moment. We can't have fun anymore because the world's gonna explode. Uh,
Right.
okay, this is the worst screenplay I think I have ever seen. Uh, if you took out the plane scene, if you took out the sub scene, this is by far the worst Mission Impossible movie. It's below Mission Impossible 2. So let me start with the beginning of the movie. They get the cassette tape, cute, just like how we used to watch Mission Impossible 1 on our little VHS tapes, stuck into a TV VHS player. And then it immediately goes, it's a message from the president. It's not like, hey, here is your mission that the audience will follow along with for the rest of the movie, which all the other movies do. It is, here is exposition of the last 7 movies. And you know me, my biggest pet peeve when it comes to screenwriting is exposition dumps. This is by far the worst exposition dump I have ever seen in a movie, because not only is it, Ethan, up until now, you have, and then the plot of every movie, but then it goes on to say, this is how you feel about it. You can't exposition dump emotions. You can't start a movie by saying, this is our main character. He's mad about this thing. That's not how movies work. Okay, so after that, we jump into 2 hours of setting up like, hey, you know this character who we've seen for a while? He's actually the son of this other character from the first movie. Hey, you know how in the third one we never told you what the bad thing was that they were capturing? It's related to this other thing. It's like the fucking Star Wars prequels again, where we're like, we don't care. We don't care how C-3PO was made. And it was made by Darth Vader. What the fuck are you talking about? It's all the same thing in terms of screenwriting issues that I have. Now, the underwater stunt was really cool, and it's really cool to me because I watched all the James Bond movies a couple years ago, and I think there's like 4 different James Bond movies. It's Thunderball, For Your Eyes Only, The Spy Who Loved Me.
You told me you saw Thunderball for your 10th birthday, right?
Yeah, I was Thunderball, of course, came out in 1965. So yeah, I was
Yeah,
my
for your 10th
15th
birthday.
my 15th
Yeah.
birthday, thank you.
Okay, cool.
Eli was
Cool.
born in the thick of the Cold War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of those feature underwater fight scenes, underwater like scenes, extended underwater scenes. And while I was watching these movies, I was thinking like, wow, when you write in a screenplay like 2 scuba divers are underwater and they start punching each other and then they have to keep fighting, you're like, oh, this is gonna be the best movie ever. And then you go to film it and everything is so fucking slow underwater that like when it takes like 30 seconds to punch the person you're wrestling with, as an audience member, you're watching this like, I am so fucking bored. So when the underwater scene started, I was like, oh, I just dealt with this with James Bond. This is going to be boring as hell. And I think because they cut out the music, because they made it more of an extended scene, I agree, Caroline. It was really cool. It's a little long, if you ask me. It was a complete waste of a lot of actors like Katie. Well, what was she doing there? Like, she's
My
awesome.
girl.
But the flight, I mean, like the airplane scene, you can't. Like no matter what, no matter how bad I think this movie is, it cannot be the worst in the series because of that airplane scene. Now, do I have problems with the airplane scene? Yes, because the bad guy goes, "I have the only parachute," and then flies out and gets killed immediately. Spoiler alert! And that is the funny part, Ethan. But what happens right after that? Tom
He
Cruise
has a
puts on another
parachute.
parachute.
Yeah.
You can't
I
break
know.
your rules like that. The whole plot of the movie is, hey, we have to capture AI, but we can't be trusted with it. And then in the end, they're like, actually, I can be trusted with it.
No, only Tom is trusted.
Only
Tom
Tom.
is trusted. And you're right. Mission Impossible perfected the exposition dump.
It was so good in every movie.
There was probably a 90-minute version of this movie that could have rocked, but they felt like they had earned their encore. And do you know what? I give it to him.
I
Same.
will give it to them there. That's fine. I do like the idea of an AI villain, but I don't like the idea of an AI villain who you talk to in a casket.
That was
Like,
silly.
like,
That was
Yeah.
silly.
like Ethan, you and I work in tech, right? If you were to make an AI villain, like, why not have it be like a fake Ethan Hunt? What if it stole Rebecca Ferguson's identity and that was the
Right.
villain? Like, and I
She
hate
was
doing,
missing.
Yeah, I
She
miss
was
her so
missing.
much.
I hate doing like a what if, film criticism shouldn't be, I didn't like this movie because it did do this idea that I had.
Mhm.
But like, there are so many ways to make an AI villain cool.
Yeah.
And I think the way you don't do it is by saying, get in this casket. We're going to show you things.
I do have a serious question for both of you, though, because I've been trying to figure this out. So there's the point in the movie where Angela Bassett has to decide to blow up one city in the US, and we never find out what city it is. What city do you think they were going to blow up?
Nashville.
St. Louis. Caroline and Eli, have you ever seen the movie Failsafe?
I have, yeah. It's a
No.
great movie. What is it
So
in Failsafe? Is
Failsafe-
it San?
So it's New York.
New York.
And so Failsafe is probably most famous for being based off the exact same book that Dr. Strangelove was based on and came out the exact same year, but it is a very serious movie, not the silly comedy. And spoiler alert for a movie that came out when Eli was 15 years old, that came out in the 60s, that basically Henry Fonda plays the president, and like the same situation happens where a plane gets wrong information and is about to go nuke Russia, and Henry Fonda has to trade a city and picks New York, and it's like you don't think it's gonna happen, and you should all watch the movie.
Yeah.
But like it is probably the most powerful like final 8 minutes of a movie I've ever seen.
So Mission Impossible podcast says I need to see that. Caroline says you need to see it. Ethan says you need to see it. I say watch Failsafe and then the plane scene on YouTube.
Tell us about your movie you've been talking to us about a lot.
Yeah, okay. So every movie for the rest of the year is going to be compared to Final Destination Bloodlines, which I think is a perfect, flawless movie. Honestly, you know what? How about this? I'm going to compare it to Mission Impossible because it is a Lego sequel. It is trying to tie all of the other movies together, and it does it a lot better. If you haven't seen the Final Destination movies, it starts with somebody has a vision, saves a bunch of lives, and then death, serial killer-esque, stalks them and kills them throughout the whole movie. It always ends with death. It's always super gory. I'm gonna say I think this is the best Final Destination movie out of all of them. I think it's the best directed. I think it's I won't say the best acted because it's not about the acting. It's about the Rube Goldberg device of how are these people going to be killed. And if we're talking about movies that are fun, I think the new Mission Impossible movie is lack of fun. I think the new Final Destination movie is the most fun I have ever had watching a movie. Unlike the other Final Destinations, this movie starts with a vision, but the person saves a lot of lives and then lives because they figure out death's design and lives long enough to have kids and grandchildren. And now when she dies, death starts coming for the kids and grandchildren, hence the line Bloodlines. It also ties to all of the other movies in that we get Tony Todd in there explaining things in his
Tony Todd.
last performance, which his last line was improvised. He's sick during this. He was sick in real life. And it's the deaths in here. Like, Caroline, I know you'll never see this movie, but
No.
I'm telling you right now, this is the best movie. It is the best. Every single movie I have seen since then, my review has been, it's okay, not as good as Final Destination Bloodlines. Final Destination Bloodlines is a perfect popcorn movie. Go see it. It's at like 97. It's a horror movie. It's a Final Destination movie. It's at like 97% on Rotten Tomatoes or something insane. Go see this movie. Ethan, what are you doing with your life? Leave your child and go see Final Destination.
Caroline, have you ever seen a Final Destination movie?
Yeah, I saw the second one, and that's half the reason why I don't drive. So
Right.
Because of
Right.
the logs.
So
the
Yeah.
the
logs.
logs.
Yeah.
So here, I've watched 1 and 2. I haven't watched the other
Ooh,
ones, but
third's a good one because it has a roller coaster.
I will. But like to me, watching them, I watched them like later in life. I just missed them growing up. Like they're so self-serious that
Mhm.
they're it's like kind of it's easy to like make fun of them
Mhm.
because it felt so serious in a way. Is Do you feel like you just feel like it's almost kind of campier?
Yes, 100%.
Cool.
It's
Mhm.
the new one knows the rules immediately. It knows
Mm.
that you know the rules immediately, and so it immediately can play with what you're expecting. It can immediately it's going back to what you said about earlier Mission Impossible movies where there's, like, moments of Looney Tunes. There are absolutely moments of Looney Tunes in this.
Fun.
Mm.
Yes,
Fun.
I'm telling you, it is so good. And you know what I saw the day before, uh Final Destination is I saw the movie Friendship, starring our favorite Tim Robinson, and I yelled at the screen loudly, "No, no, 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 no!" Way more at fucking Friendship than I did Final Destination Bloodlines. Friendship, if you haven't seen it, by the way, go see it. All of the ads say it's uh, "I love you, man" for sickos. It's not. It's a single white female for men. That's what this movie
Mm.
is.
Mhm.
Uh uh, I talked about the idea of the new movie genre of anxiety porn. Not just movies, TV. I'm talking about shows like The Pit, uh, uh, Adolescence, the movie Warfare. These are what I call anxiety porn, which I think is starting to become more and more like there are episodes of The Bear that I consider anxiety porn. Uh, Friendship is an anxiety porn comedy. And it is just it's beautiful. It's such a specific movie. It's a movie that I think I would put on my, like if I worked at a video store, it'd be on my staff recommendation wall just to see what people thought about it. Like the movie Happiness was on my staff recommendation wall. Uh, so similarly, it's like a you either get it or you don't get it type of movie. And if you don't get it, the person who recommended it is fucking crazy. But Friendship is a great movie. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Not as good as Final Destination Bloodlines.
Have you been getting all your clothes from Ocean View Dining?
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, it's crazy to think, I mean, because we're all Chicago people, to see Tim Robinson on this scale is really amazing to see. It's just crazy. Like I was explaining to Jared, I was like, I would leave conservatory and go to the main stage
Mhm.
improv set and watch him and Sam Richardson, Tim Baltz, Katie Holly in 2012. And it's amazing to see that he's sort of escalated to this point. It's such a cuckoo crazy movie, but it was amazing to go on a Sunday night and the theater was packed. Like I couldn't believe it. I really thought I was like, there's gonna be like 15 people here, but everyone was laughing. Even before that, the Naked Gun trailer gets a laugh every time it's in theaters with the OJ joke at the end, so I'm very excited for that. But I don't know, I think comedies are coming back, and it feels really nice to be in a theater laughing on purpose, whether it is an anxiety release, but it was such a weird movie, and I'm so glad it got made, and it's getting an audience, and it's in a theater.
Yeah, when I moved to Chicago, I started doing improv, obviously. The like, the day after I moved to Chicago, I went to IO to see a show, and I saw there was a Herald team performing, and I was like, "Oh, I can do that." And then, the second team to go up was Cook County Social Club, which Tim Robinson was a member of, and I went, "I can't do that!" And so this guy immediately became my favorite improviser. It was him and Brendan Jennings, who I think are the 2 best improvisers in Chicago. Uh, and then I remember I was rehearsing for a sketch show at Second City, and I saw like, through in one of the classrooms, it was Tim Robinson hugging somebody. I don't remember who, but they were hugging, like, it was, like, a really tight, deep embrace hug, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then next day, we found out he got SNL. It was, like, such a I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." And so I told all my friends who weren't from Chicago, like, "Watch out for this guy. It's gonna be amazing." And then he had his first episode, I think, if I remember correctly, it was Seth MacFarlane was the host, and he had a pretty good episode, and I was like, "Just wait, he's gonna be amazing." And then they just didn't let him do very much. I remember, like, there was a Kevin Hart episode where they let him do a very Tim Robinson sketch called Z Shirts, and I was like, okay, good. Now they're finally gonna let him cook. And then he just became a writer. They took him off screen, and I was like, oh no. And then the show Detroiters came out, and I'm like, okay, it's happening. And then I Think You Should Leave came out, and it's just like now he's unstoppable. He's the guy who blew my mind the first time I moved to Chicago. Anyway, go see that movie, Friendship. It's him and Paul Rudd and Kate Mara.
I just watched a very Detroiters-ish movie that went straight to Hulu that I recommend. It called The Gutter. Darcy
Oh
Carden
yeah.
is in
Mhm.
it.
Oh,
Susan
is it
Sarandon.
good?
It
Yeah.
was very funny, and it's directed and written by Yasser Lester, who is on Black Monday. He's married to Chelsea Devantez, but like a lot of people that we love show up in it. But it's about this guy who randomly becomes like is an amazing bowler, and enters all these competitions so he can save the bowling alley that he works at. And Susan Sarandon is like the best bowler that's ever happened, and I don't know, he also wants to get sponsored by Pornhub, and there's this, like, very fun, like I don't know, I reckon it was a nice, tight 90 minutes of just, like, weird jokes and gags that it's on Hulu. I recommend seeking it out.
That's awesome. I'm happy it's on Hulu. Yeah, I heard about it last year when it came out and heard good things. My review will be, oh, this is so funny. Final Destination Bloodlines is better. Um, I did see it one more movie quickly before we talk a little bit about summer movies and then wrap up. I saw the movie Bring Her Back, same directors as
Oh yeah.
Talk to Me, horror movie.
And
Uh, it's fucking awesome. Caroline, you never see this movie.
No.
Ethan, you should go see this movie.
yeah,
It's not scary, but it's certainly gross, and suspenseful. Uh, Final Destination Bloodlines is better, but it's a very good movie. Highly recommended. Sally Hawkins is doing her thing. It's wild.
better or worse than Talk to Me?
Talk to Me was a surprise to me. I never heard of these directors before. I know they have like YouTube short videos. Uh, so it's hard to compare because Talk to Me I was watching saying like, who are these people? What is this movie? This is insane. Probably better in terms of filmmaking, but Talk to Me I liked more.
Hmm. Cool.
But they're both really good movies. Like they're dead heat for quality. Final Destination Bloodlines is better than both of those. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Summer movies coming up. What's coming up? We have Final Destination. We have Fantastic Four coming up. Is it gonna suck? Early word is it sucks.
Dude, I watched the new Captain America movie.
It's a bad movie.
I'm like fully baffled that I cared about this world of movies. It was offensive to people who like these kinds of movies. It was so bad. I did not see Thunderbolts. I heard it's better, but
I like Thunderbolts.
man, we all used to be all in on this stuff, and it's just so. It looks cheap. Looks cheap.
Yes, it looks cheap.
Say what
It
you
looks
will.
very green
Say what
screen.
you will about Mission Impossible 8. That movie did not
No.
look cheap. That movie earned like. Sure, there's a lot of exposition dumps, but that movie looks like there was real craft put into it, and like
Yeah.
this movie looks glued together.
Well, here's the thing. Like Thunderbolts, I just said I like the movie. You can tell when they are on real sets.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Thunderbolts. Captain America, there isn't a single moment that I think he's not on a green screen. That's what
Yeah.
kind of makes me scared for the new Fantastic Four. I really
Sure.
want it to be good because I like the cast. I like what they're doing with the retro feel. I don't know. I don't like Fantastic Four's coming out. Superman's coming out. By the time this podcast comes out, it's probably been out for 3 months. But
Yeah, maybe.
I don't feel good about either. They're both gonna make money. Like Lilo and Stitch didn't get good reviews and made all the money in the world. I'm
Yeah.
sure Superman's gonna make money. I'm sure Fantastic Four will make
You don't think
money.
Superman's gonna be good?
I don't think Superman's gonna be good. I think
What are you basing that off of?
I'm basing it off of how many superheroes and supervillains I see in the trailer.
Here's why I think Superman's gonna be good. Is James Gunn has made 4 superhero movies, and they are all good. And I think that putting faith in James Gunn is worthwhile. Can't speak of future DC movies, but like I think that the guy's gonna nail it.
I
for
hope it's good.
Superman.
I'll say that. I really hope it's good because I love Peacemaker. I think that is a great TV show. The
Yeah.
second season's coming out soon. That's a James Gunn show with superheroes.
And Guardians rules.
Guardians
man.
rules.
Guardians, especially Guardians 1, is in the top 3 of Marvel movies. Easy. It could be the best Marvel movie. It's really good.
By the way, when I saw Bring Her Back beforehand, a trailer played for a movie called The Ritual, which is like an Exorcist movie starring Dan Stevens and Al Pacino. And I'm like, ooh,
Hell yeah.
this is going to fucking roll. It's currently sitting at 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hell yeah. Yes.
That sounds right.
If we lived in the same city and didn't have children, I would say that's a mandatory take a gummy and let's go together movie.
Ethan, I have kids, and I will take an Amtrak to Chicago to meet you to take a gummy and see this movie with you.
Sweet. And you better send me a picture.
Wow.
Yeah, I will absolutely do that for you.
I love that.
I'm excited for Megan 2.0.
Absolutely.
My girl whipping around. Whenever Phenomenon comes on in the theater, I can't wait. It's gonna be. I'm excited for how stupid it's gonna be. I'm excited for Jurassic World Rebirth. I think it looks very fun.
You?
Yeah.
Sure.
Jonathan Bailey in those slutty glasses. Yeah, I'm in. I'll be seeing it in IMAX opening night. Come on. We love the dinosaurs. And the Summer of Pedro. Materialist is out next week.
Yeah, Materialists. Getting hot buzz.
Can't wait.
Excited about that movie. I think the movie I'm looking forward to the most, we already said it, is Naked Gun. I think if it's done well, and if it's done right, and it can bring that type of comedy back, I'm so in. I started watching Airplane with my son and quickly realized he is now 8, and this is still not appropriate for him, but he laughed at some things, so we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Is George excited for live action How to Train Your Dragon?
Oh.
I don't think he cares. I think even George is like, do they really need to remake everything? Like,
wow.
He also, you know what else he doesn't care about? He cares a lot about Bad Guys 2 coming out, but he also doesn't care about Elio. Do you know that Elio or Elio?
Yeah, the new Pixar.
That comes out in 2 weeks. By the time this
in
podcast,
like a week or so.
By the time this podcast comes out, it's on video. But he doesn't give a shit about it, and that's not a good sign for Pixar.
No,
that's bad.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, not even a fan of the sport, and I know that he is a troubled individual, but seeing F1 get some good early buzz makes me pretty pumped.
I will see it. I will likely enjoy it. I will be actively rooting against it at the Oscars if it gets anything, because Sinners needs to
it's
win.
not gonna be it.
Sinners
It's not
needs
gonna
to
get
win.
an Oscar.
You don't know.
The whole like Joseph Kosinski Top Gun thing was like the Top Gun legacy. Like, this is not an Oscar movie. I would be shocked if this is an Oscar movie. This is a big summer blockbuster.
I don't know.
I'm shocked neither one of you has mentioned 28 Years Later.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. Like, no matter what, I'm gonna love that movie.
No matter what. What if it's like pro-Nazi? Are you still gonna love it? No matter what?
Yeah, no matter what.
What if it's like very pro-Trump and it's very like talks about the Epstein files that he's not in, and like and then are you gonna still like no matter what love that movie?
Yeah, so it opens with zombie Jeffrey Epstein running towards the screen saying, "I didn't kill myself," and yeah, I'm in.
Is actually the opening quote is, "I'm gonna love this no matter what." Eli Golden, and then it's just Nazi propaganda.
I know.
For 2 hours.
Sure.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely.
And I think that I know what you did last summer reboot looks fun too.
Yeah, and Toxic Avengers is finally coming out on August 29th. Come on. We've been waiting for this movie. There's a lot of good movies coming. I don't know what is going to be a hit, but we'll see. I mean, like, around the corner will be Wicked and then Avatar, so no matter what happens, we're going to be fine. There's a new Tron movie coming out too. Interesting.
Hey, I got a question. There's a movie that came out literally today, and we do not talk about this person that much, but a new Wes Anderson movie came out today.
The Phoenician.
Is anyone like jumping at their out of their seat to go see this movie?
I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it. There's gonna be a moment where I go, "Shut the fuck up, Wes Anderson," but I'm still gonna love it no matter what. And I also heard Michael Cera is very good in it, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have
Yeah.
I'm
fun.
excited. I thought you were going to talk about the other one, that a ballerina.
Uh,
Oh, I
my
heard it's awesome.
my wife loves John Wick movies, so we will be going to see that movie. Now, are either of you ever gonna see Dangerous Animals?
Is that the shark movie?
That's the Jai Courtney in his underwear throwing women at shark movies.
I don't know.
Jai Courtney.
I need to watch the trailer. I do, because I'm famously pro shark after seeing Jaws for the first time last year. So
I'm pro Jai Courtney dancing in his underwear as a villain, so
I'm not pro Jai Courtney. Nobody has ever done more with less talent than Jai Courtney.
who is Jai Courtney?
Yeah, it's right.
a little movie called
Bargain bin Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
is
it
who
is.
Jai Courtney
So
is.
I was gonna say some movies, and then I forgot all of his movies. But you got he wasn't he in a Terminator movie? He was, right? Am I going crazy?
Yes.
Yeah, A Good Day to Die
was in-
Hard. That's how I first saw him. Divergent, Terminator Genesis, Suicide Squad. I think that his
Terrible.
his collective Rotten Tomato score is maybe 60 something, which is I guess isn't bad.
Terrible.
He pops up in the Suicide Squad, the sequel. He was in the original Suicide Squad 2. Is there nothing? Nothing? Jack Reacher, he was in there. Speaking of Tom Cruise. Nothing?
Maybe the Divergent movie, but I also those movies have blacked out in my mind. Especially as I've been rewatching Hunger Games. I was like, man, Hunger Games rules. And sorry, they're a great franchise. But I can tell you he has a number of tattoos, including a rope, a skull, and a dog. And his Suicide Squad co-star Margot Robbie has given him 2 tattoos, including an abbreviation for Robbie's home state, Queensland, after losing his state of origin bet. As well as a tattoo that says Squad, spelled SKWAD, to memorialize his work in the film.
See, I think that's cute.
Should we get tattoos?
Yes. And you know what my tattoo will say? I know exactly what it'll
I'd
say.
like it no matter what.
It will say, Final Destination Bloodlines was better.
As a tramp stamp.
And by the way, that'll be the scariest tattoo to get because, as I'm getting it done, a screw will fall off the ceiling and, a fan blade will go flying across the wall. These are all spoiler alerts for the movie Final Destination Bloodlines. All right. That's it. That's the show. Thank you for listening. Rate, review, subscribe. Sometimes I forget this is a podcast. I think we're just friends talking, and I never remember to do that shit. We're fake friends. We're only friends when I click that record button.
It's okay. It's an AARP sanctioned friendship. They approached me and Caroline. They're like, you need to help this senior citizen out and make sure that he feels like he's part of the modern world.
They started an initiative.
That's why we're here.
They started an initiative called Friend a Boomer because they need friends.
Yeah.
Friend a boomer.
Friend a World War II vet. And they're like, Eli Golden needs...
He was doing the codes.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
I'm going to go take my sciatica. Bye.
Dump?
Oh.